music, rhythm, vibrations. These are the building blocks of reality, the tools of a producer. Today, I'm going to show you how to utilize them. Okay, so you want to start making music, producing. You're getting lost in the information out there. There's so many videos about recommended products for you to buy, recommended things, audio interfaces, VSTs, too many words. Listen, I'm here to alleviate the stress. I will be giving some recommendations later, but right now, we're not going to worry about that because the true power of a musician is his mindset. Mindset is everything. Our monkey ancestors used music before they used language. Neanderthals. So if you think you can't do it, they made music with nothing but sticks and rocks. They didn't have any Fruity Loops, any VSTs. That's all in your head. Music is in the now, okay? So then why would you make music if it's not for all the fancy gear? Well, listen, music is a concept. Music is a compulsion. It's the need to create. And you do it all the time without thinking about it. If you're walking down the street, you find a cadence to walk into. You tap your fingers in class because you have a little ADHD bird brain. The goal of the musician is to take that bored, pent-up energy and laser beam it into one spot so that you can look at what you made later and hopefully not want to quit all your dreams and hopes of becoming a musician. So given this philosophy, the best way to make music isn't to go buy all the fancy tech, isn't to go burn yourself out, spend all your money on virtual instruments that aren't even real. The number one thing that you have to do is make creating a habit. It's all in the mind. Ukulele. Play with some Minecraft note blocks. Okay? You gotta build your musculature. It's like going to the gym. It's progressive overload. You gotta put in the work. The important thing is that you need to learn to enjoy the creative aspect, not the recording aspect, and not the showing it to your friends aspect. Because without the creative core, you won't be able to come up with good ideas. You'll lose all of the magic that comes with creating music, creating things in general. It's not about the product at the end, it's about the producer, because you're the thing that makes. So sharpen the tool. All that being said, eventually you're gonna want to move past your half-baked guitar pluckage and crappy vocals put on top. You're gonna wanna actually develop something. Record it, change it, edit it. But how do you do that? That's where recording comes into play, okay? So then how do you record? How do I do that? Well, think about making a PowerPoint presentation. How do you create a PowerPoint presentation without PowerPoint? How do you create a Word document, a PDF, without Microsoft Word? Well, you need an application, and that's where DAWs come in. DAW, Digital Audio Workstation. This is the Microsoft Word. It allows you to type things in. You can put things in there. You can edit them, delete them, rearrange everything. That's where the real creativity can actually happen. And once you have a good, firm understanding of your DAW, you're unstoppable. There's a few good options out there for beginners. I recommend BandLab. Free to use. Plenty of online loops. I use their loops, their drum sounds, everything. It's all on their website, completely free to use for profit, and it's phenomenal. But it is a little bit handicapped once you kind of get into the nitty-gritty of things, and you might want to upgrade a little bit later. But to get started, I recommend, in order to kind of get a feeling of what the sort of thought process of a producer is, check out BandLab and utilize that for now. Then you can move on to some of the more sophisticated ones. Reaper is a good example of something that is pretty much free to use. You can use their trial version completely constantly, and it gives you a lot of industry standard tools that you can utilize to create your songs. But once again, you're going to end up handicapped. It's a great place to learn. It's probably not a great place to settle. And if you're looking for something that really grows with you as a musician, you're going to want something a little bit more sophisticated. And there's a few DAWs that work really well for that. So let's talk about FL Studio. It's my favorite. It's great. FL Studio is phenomenal. It's beginner friendly, easy to use. The interface is easy, but The amount of things that you can do with it are completely endless. It's easy to mix with. It's very user-friendly. So if you're getting into it and you're looking for something professional grade that'll take you all the way up to the top, FL Studio is a great place to start. It's got phenomenal drum sequencing. That's really why I love it. The drums on it are phenomenal. But if you're really not into FL Studio, or you're looking for something with more live application, maybe try Ableton. Ableton has a sweet session view that allows you to change loops live. It's phenomenal on live settings for that exact reason. It has a session view, which is great. Also a great place to start. And both FL and Ableton have trial versions, so you can figure out what you like the most. The important thing is, though, find one and stick with it. I'm not going into the technical details because this is more about the creative process and the bare bones things that you need to really delve into that. So honestly, if you stuck with BandLab and became an expert, you could probably crank out something way better than a person that has tried every single audio workstation over and over and over again and doesn't settle on one and actually learns to master that. It's an instrument, if you really think about it, because it allows you to change things, warp things, add effects to things, and completely move the creative process for your song. There's more lightweight options. GarageBand, there's a lot of free looping apps where you can just loop audio over itself, and both of those you can get on mobile devices. Phenomenal if you just want to get started and you want to know what this kind of entails. But in general, if you want to take it seriously, try to upgrade to something that has a little bit more power, and that'll do you good. Okay, let's talk gear. This is the fun stuff, and you can spend a lot of money on gear if you're not careful. But the really important thing is that you have a computer and a digital audio workstation, because with that, you can kind of simulate anything you need, and it won't be perfect, but you can get it done. Otherwise, gear is going to depend on whatever genre you're making. If you're making EDM, you're probably going to want Midi controllers. You probably might even want synthesizers. But if you want more of an analog feel, if you're a cowboy hokey pokey tokey type, you're probably going to want guitars and better microphones and live drum setups. It really depends. So think about exactly what you're going to be wanting to create. And for now, I'm just going to focus on the things that are going to be foundational that you're going to need for all of them. I already covered the DAW. You're going to have a computer for your DAW. The next thing is called an audio interface. An audio interface is basically the way that you can plug in microphones, guitars directly into your computer so you can play them directly into your digital audio workstation. So this might mean immediately being able to play electric guitar into your workstation instead of having to record it and then put it back in. And there's no file management needed, right? And that's kind of the best way to go. So think about this. If you wanted to get a microphone for your song, you want to put some little vocals on it, how are you going to do that when your microphone has a connection like this? You're not going to find that on your laptop. How are you going to plug in this guitar cable? You can't. You need a doorway to get from your device to your computer and make that as simple as possible. And that's what the audio interface is. It also allows you to kind of mix how loud you want your microphone to be. It boosts the quality of the audio that you hear a lot. So if you're just a music listener, it might also just be a good way, good thing for you. For us bedroom producers, you don't need anything too fancy. They're all gonna be under $200. There's some great recommendations. I use the Audient ID4, and that's what this microphone is being run off of right now. Phenomenal, under $200. Scarlett has a great reputation for beginners, bedroom producers, but also people all the way at the top still use Scarlett stuff. Really just find something solid that a lot of people like, and hopefully you'll buy it and kind of forget about it because you'll learn to habitualize using it. But it's a phenomenal place to get started because it allows you to interface with a bunch of new instruments and all of that. I also linked a video underneath that has a bunch of good recommendations for people just starting out. And you're definitely going to want to pick one of these up because it makes your life a whole lot easier. Next up, MIDI controllers. This is like it's a fancy way to say computer piano. Basically, you can attach this little piano to whatever instrument you're playing or whatever sample that you're playing, and you can play it like a piano. And they also come with a bunch of other cool features. They have knobs, they have little mixer slots, things that will come in handy a little bit down the line, and you can get a good one for pretty damn cheap. Also, most workstations, if you're using Midi, allow you to go back and change the notes that you played, the rhythm that you played them in, everything, the velocity that you hit the keys at. So if you have a Midi controller, you have a lot more control down the line to change up chords, to change up all sorts of cool stuff when you're composing a song and setting it all up. Definitely pick one of those up. It will also teach you how to learn piano, which is very good. Okay. Next up, we have VSTs. These guys are the hard crack of music production. I'm talking about it. You will spend your life savings on these if you don't watch your budget extremely carefully, because they can cost so much money, but man, they're nice. A VST is essentially, it could be two things. One would be an instrument. So you can think of like a synthesizer, or you could download a piano VST and you can play it just like it's a piano. It sounds just like a piano, but it's all virtual. So that's why you would have a Midi controller. And the other aspect of VSTs is effects. And this could be anything from reverb to saturation to both of those, the delay, all of it. VSTs are a great way to mix up your audio, change things up, and add some of that extra sauce. So you're definitely going to want to utilize them as soon as you can and understand how to use them together, how they interact. But basically, it's pretty straightforward once you get to know how to use them. EDM people, this is going to be your bread and butter. Everybody else, this is going to be your butter at least. The way that they work is you just buy them or download them, plug them straight into your DAW, and then you can put them on any instrument, any mixer track, and just add a lot of sauce. And essentially that's what you want when you're mixing or creating a song, is you want to be able to inject as much sauce into everywhere that you can and have maximum creative freedom. And these open up a whole realm of possibilities that you wouldn't otherwise have. So let's go over this overarching mindset. You're a producer now, okay? Take it seriously. You are the thing that makes. But underneath all of that are the tools that you have at your disposal. And choosing those, I hope that this makes it a little bit easier, because those are the big things that you need. As soon as you have those, you can jump right into it with a bunch of free tutorials. And I'm sure that I'm going to be coming out with stuff like that very soon. So make sure to subscribe. There's a lot of weird tutorials out there that just teach you how to do cool things that nobody else is doing. So definitely check it out. Once you get into the rabbit hole, you're there. But with these big terms, you'll kind of understand where to get started. And the best part, fuck around with it. These are the tools that you need to get nitty and gritty, working in the music minds, right? To channel the vibrations of the universe to your every whim. So get in there, fuck around with it, make some cool stuff.